I was his wife, but he treated me like a stranger me. Husband would always tell me that I was unbeautiful enough for him. These days, if you don't look perfect, men will just leave you. I tried my best to hide this from my daughter, but she was only 9 years old when she heard her dad say it to me. She was at the door of their bedroom and we couldn't hide our tears from her. That day, she promised to help me become the most beautiful woman in the world, so I wouldn't have to hear those words ever again. And she kept her promise. Years passed, and now she's an adult. She's graduated from college and is going to start vet school soon. We're so close that I can tell her anything. I told her how much I hated my husband, and she agreed that he didn't deserve her mom. Even though I told her that I loved him, she said that no one deserves to be treated like that, not even him. Mom, I will help you get rid of him, she said. But I knew that it would hurt her if I left her father because they had a great relationship. So I never asked for a divorce. My husband and I are currently living separately. He has his own apartment and I live in the family home with my daughter. I haven't seen him in almost 3 months. I keep waiting for him to ask for a divorce, but he doesn't seem to want to do that. Am I the butthole for asking my daughter if she could pay for a divorce lawyer for me? My husband and I are currently living separately. He has his own apartment and I live in the family home with my daughter. I haven't seen him in almost 3 months. I keep waiting for him to ask for a divorce, but he doesn't seem to want to do that. One morning I woke up next to my daughter. Her boyfriend was sleeping on the other side of the bed. I quietly got out of bed so I wouldn't wake them up. As I walked to the kitchen, I saw a laptop on the table. It was my daughter's. She had left it behind when she went out last night. I wanted to return it to her room, but then I saw something that made me stop. There were pictures of a lawyer on the screen. The title said, "The best divorce lawyers in town." They specialized in cases like mine, infidelity, abuse, and so on. Of course, I didn't know she had been looking into getting a divorce for me. When she came back, I asked her why she had looked up lawyers online. I wanted to see how much it would cost to get you a lawyer. Mom, if it wasn't too expensive, I would have done it already. She answered honestly. I felt guilty about being angry at her for something that was all my fault. She had only wanted to help me. Thank you, sweetheart. But don't worry about it. I know that it's hard for you to see me so upset, but your father and I will figure it out, I said. She seemed unconvinced, but she didn't insist. But that same night, she stayed up talking with her boyfriend, and I could hear them talking about lawyers and divorce. The next morning, I asked her what her and her boyfriend had talked about the night before. Oh, nothing, Mom. Just school stuff, she lied. I knew she was hiding something from me, but I didn't want to force her to talk about it. I knew she would tell me eventually. 3 weeks later, my daughter came into my room while I was crying. I had just received a text message from my husband. He had found another woman, and he was moving in with her. He also told me that I should find someone else. Where is he, honey? I want to talk to him, she asked. He doesn't want to talk to you. That's why he sent me this message, I answered, showing her the phone. She took the phone from me and started typing furiously. After a few minutes, she threw the phone onto the bed and started crying. He blocked me, she whispered. Why? Why did he block me? She asked. Because he doesn't want to talk to you, I said. She wiped her tears away and said, No, he probably wants to talk to you, but he's scared that you will ask for a divorce. He's not willing to do that yet. I was shocked. She was right. Why hadn't I thought of that? My husband had been trying to avoid a divorce for 7 years. He had told me many times that he didn't want to get divorced because of what people would say. He was afraid of what others would think of him. You're right, honey. Thank you for making me realize that. I think it's time that I asked for a divorce. She hugged me and said, Finally, Mom, you're going to be happy again. Then she called her boyfriend and told him what we had talked about. He was very supportive and understanding. He said that he would help us with the divorce. As soon as my husband came back from work, I told him that I wanted a divorce. What? He asked. Do you really want a divorce? Are you sure? I nodded, although I was very nervous. Yes, I'm sure. He looked at me for a few seconds without saying anything. Then he left the room. He called his mother and started yelling at her. I heard him say, What did you do? You and your stupid daughter have ruined everything. Then he hung up and came back into the room. I want a divorce! Too, he said. I was surprised. I had expected him to fight me on this, but he had accepted it. Wait, Izel. I thought for a moment before answering. Are you sure you want this, Jason? Because you can't take it back once we've signed the papers. He nodded. I'm sure. That day, my daughter and I went shopping for new clothes. We had a great time together. She helped me choose things that I liked, and I paid for them. Of course, she insisted that she wanted to work to pay for my divorce lawyer, but I wouldn't let her. I told her that I would pay for it myself, but she didn't want that. She wanted to do it on her own. A few weeks later, I met with a lawyer. I explained my situation to her, and she told me that I had a good case. She would make sure that I got half of everything, including the house. Since my husband had moved out, I didn't need to sell the house to pay for the divorce. I could use that money to buy a new place for me and my daughter. When my husband found out what I had bought, he lost it. He called me and screamed at me. How dare you buy a new house with the money that we had saved for retirement? How selfish of you. I worked hard for that money, and now you're just throwing it away. You said you wanted a divorce. You're the one who left me. No choice. Besides, I'm allowed to use that money. It's half of what you have in the bank. Remember. But I needed that money. I don't have a job and I have to start over. How am I supposed to do that without any money? That's not my problem. You're the one who decided to leave me. You're the one who cheated on me. You're the one who insulted me every single day. You're the one who didn't want to fix our marriage. So don't come crying to me now. He stayed on the phone for a few minutes before hanging up. He hasn't called me since. The day I moved into my new house, my daughter and I were unpacking boxers when I found some documents. I opened them, and they were the divorce papers. On top of them, there was a note that said, I love you, Mom. I hope you'll be happy now. Underneath the note, there was a check. I opened it, and there was a large sum of money inside. I called my daughter, but it went straight to voicemail. I tried again and again, but she didn't answer. I was worried, so I went to her house. Her boyfriend opened the door, and he was shocked to see me. Is my daughter here? I asked. No! She went out earlier and hasn't come back yet, he answered. Just then, my ex-husband called me. What do you want? I asked. I saw your daughter's boyfriend at my house. What did you tell him about me? Nothing. I didn't tell him anything. Why are you calling me? Because I want to know what you're doing at my house, he said. I wanted to give your daughter the check, but it seems like she isn't home. Can I leave it with you? Leave it here. I'll give it to her when she comes back, he said. That's when I realized that they had planned this together. They had taken my money and run away. I was furious, but I knew that I couldn't do anything about it. I went home and cried myself to sleep. The next morning, I called my daughter's cell phone, and it was turned off. I called again, and it was still turned off. I was so worried that I called the police and filed a missing persons report. The police told me that they would look into it, but I knew that they wouldn't find her. I was right. A few days went by, and I still hadn't heard from her. I was about to lose hope when the phone rang. I picked it up, and it was my daughter. Where have you been? Why didn't you answer your phone? I was so worried about you! I said, I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to worry you. I just needed some time to think. I've been accepted to a vet school in another state. I'm so excited, she said. Oh, honey, I'm so happy for you. But you should have told me where you were going. I was so worried, I said. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to upset you. Can you forgive me? Of course, sweethearts. I'm just happy that you're going to be doing what you love. Where are you now? When are you coming home? I'm at a hotel near the vet school. I'll be home tomorrow. I miss you, Mom, she said. And that's when I realized that she had run away to start a new life. She didn't want to stay with me anymore. She wanted to follow her dreams. I was sad, but I knew that I had to let her go. The next day, she came home and we talked for hours. She told me that she had saved up money to pay for her studies and that she didn't need any help from me. I'm proud of you, honey. Go after your dreams. Don't let anyone hold you back, I said. That was the last time I ever saw my daughter. A year later, I read about a famous veterinarian who had opened a clinic in another state. I smiled when I realized that it was my daughter. I was so proud of her. Am I the butthole for wanting my daughter to pay for my divorce lawyer? Vote in the comments.